Hello everyone and welcome to another report on the state of co-prosperity sphere. This one for the year 1970, recorded in January 1971. Well, I have to say that despite the fact that we are amid the oil crisis, I was kind of surprised to see that we still had a fairly good growth in most of our countries. Most notably us. We had 3.39% increase in total GDP, despite all of the penalties and hits that we got from the crisis itself. So that is good. We haven't really gotten to 30% as I was hoping, but if the crisis is removed soon, during 1971, we might actually have a chance at going way above 30. But we'll see, we'll see what's going to be happening in the upcoming episodes. Now, as far as Republic of China goes, that is one of the few losers of the year. It actually lost a full 1.44% of GDP. I'm not entirely sure why, but we know that there has been some scandal happening there, so maybe that is related to it. I'm not sure. On the other hand, state of Guangdong continued its growth. It's no longer double digit, but they still added nearly 8%, which is, pretty good. And same for Manchuria. They're actually accelerating their growth. They are now currently at 5.7%. So they increased their GDP all the way to 41 billion. Good for them. The rest of the table really doesn't bring that many surprises. Number 5, Azad Hind government, 3.4%. Number 6 is Confederate Cities of New Granada, added 1.09%. Number 7 is Feripim Shotorinji Seifu, 1.69%. 8th place is Republic of Indonesia. They added 3.02%, which, frankly, is fairly strong growth for them compared to the previous year, so good on them. Number 9 is Republic of Thailand, added 3.33%. And number 10 in this case is Peru, added 4.12%. Number 11 is Republic of Zaire, they added 3.76%. Number 12 is Union of Burma, added 2.46%. Number 13 is Empire of Vietnam, they added 1.14%. Number 14 is Mengyang United Autonomous Government, added 4%, so really good growth. They broke through 50% overall, which makes me really happy. Number 15 is Democratic Republic of Malaya, added nearly 5% again, so they're currently at 71.15% total growth. But again, Malaya annexed some territory in the beginning, so you have to take it with a pinch of salt. Number 16 is Seihoku Homegun, almost 1.6%. Number 17 is Cambodia, added 3.3%. Number 18 is Laos, added 4.23%. Number 19, Nampogu Second, added 1.91%. Number 20 is Bhutan, added 2.7%, which for them is a massive growth. Actually, they had that in 1967 as well, but it's way more than they usually do. Number 21 is everybody else who was either left the co-prosperity sphere or didn't join us. Now, most important change though is that the Shinan reconstruction of Forde is gone. It has been annexed, and I think China swallowed it. So this 6 billion, actually that means that their drop has been significantly higher. If they annexed Shinan, so they would lose 10% of their GDP without that? Maybe. Other than that, a fairly good growth in most of the countries. When you look at the total growth, we are breaking 50% in number of nations, which makes me really happy. We broke it with, of course, Republic of China, of course, State of Guangdong. They actually broke way over. They're currently at 127.88% for China and 113.11% for Guangdong. But Mengyang broke the 50% mark, Malaya broke the 50% mark, and a number of nations are very close, like Thailand, Laos, and anyone else? Oh, Asadhin government is at 36. That's very far. But yeah, the growth of the co-prosperity sphere is pretty good. Now, we had a number of changes, though, in the top 10 world economies. So, as last year, United States are the first, they've either not been hit by the crisis or they have been experiencing way more growth and then lost some because they grew by 3.04%. Compared to us, we grew by 3.39. It's almost the same thing. What makes me happy is that Germany has grew by only 2.05%. Considering they added 17.5% last year, this gives me hope that we might eventually overtake them yet again. I would really love it if we could end the Let's Play as economy number 2 in the world. Number 4 belongs to Regno d'Italia. Nothing really surprising there, 2.44%. Even though, you would expect them to be hit more by the oil crisis, but, whatever. Number 5 is United Kingdom. They added less than 1% at 0.83%, so, it is a growth. China is number 6, as we, said, they lost 1.44%, so they had actually a recession this year. Number 7 belongs to Brazil. They added 7.58%, so they are now at 53.66. Number 8 belongs to French state, 28.09. I have no idea. No, actually I do. They've gotten parts from Burgundy. That makes sense. I didn't realize that when I was writing the table, but now it is very clear. So they actually added almost 40% to their GDP. Number 9, however, is State of Guangdong instead of number 8. They added 7.95%. And number 10 is Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, a newcomer to the table. Instead of Manchuria, we now have USSR with an economy of 42.21 billion. So Manchuria is just slightly under them. We'll see if they can take them over, or how fast Union of Soviet Socialist Republics is gonna grow. Hopefully not much. Global statistics, total world GDP increased by 3.93%, which is a decent growth considering the crisis. Total growth of the sphere GDP, however, in this year is only 1.94%. So after a while, we have had a year where we grew much slower than the world economy. So yeah, from the almost 80 billion new GDP generated by the world, we've added only 10.5 billion. But it's still a growth, it's still a growth. And of course, the sphere trade has also dropped a little bit by roughly 5%. That's not a problem. And the sphere share has thus dropped from our peak 27% to 26.5%. It's not a crisis. It's nothing bad, but we'll see how long or fast the oil crisis will stay or leave us. I don't remember it from the playthrough of Germany, so we'll have to see. And as far as additional statistics go, you can see here a number of them. We've had a fairly negative effect on pretty much everything. So the total debt of Japan increased by 6.2 billion. The debt to GDP ratio increased by 0.9. No, actually we lowered the debt. Okay, from 85.5 to 84.6, which I believe is the lowest we ever had it. Yep. So we have a total debt of 84.6% now. Pretty good. So we managed to decrease that as well. Nice. The US surplus, though, dropped from 750 million in deficit to nearly 1.5 billion in deficit, so that's not good. The US surplus in percentage dropped from 0.25% to nearly 0.5% of all GDP every year, so we'll have to be careful about that. The debt, not great. Production units increased to 212, which I believe is our peak. Yep, that's our peak by 6. We have manpower now of 4.7 million, so that's a slight decrease, but I believe that's due to modifiers. Nothing really happened much because, the population grew by 4.45 million to nearly 150 million people living in Japan right now. The armed forces lost a little bit of manpower. That's mostly due to the fighting, so they are currently at 603,620 men in active service. The size of the Air Force remained the same, and the size of the Navy increased by 1% to 196,320 people in service. The poverty rate dropped to 29.96% this year. That's a decrease of 3.21%. We're just barely above the starting value of 29.43. It's just a little bit more, and Japan will start reducing its poverty to unknown depths, meaning everybody will be happy, hopefully. Score of US military increased by 17 and score of US economy increased by 15. However, the total score of USA dropped by 48. Score of German military increased by 167, but their economy dropped by 17. Still, they added 159 points. And Japan added 11 points in military, 12 in economy, but we lost 18 points total. And the brutal reality of the political situation, we lost 21% in the approval of House of Peers. We lost 21% in the public approval, and we lost 28% in government stability. So yeah, this is making me worried the most. However, it's going to be our priority to fix that. And last but not least, let's look at the graphs. So the top 4 countries of co-prosperity sphere, excluding Japan, you can see that China is having a little bit of a recession right now. Manchuria is growing still, but growing. Guangdong is just skyrocketing, and Assad Hind government just the same trajectory. And here we can see the top 3 world economies versus the world GDP. So it keeps increasing, but everybody now is sort of staggering, with the exception of United States. So after the rapid growth towards them, this year really didn't help us. We'll see next year. Again, it depends on what the oil crisis is going to do to various countries. We should be hit, all of us, United States, Germany, and Japan, in equal amounts. So I guess it's going to depend on who's going to focus on it the most, who's going to remove it the first, and what the outcome of the wars is going to be for each of the countries. Well, that's all there is to it. So this was a really quick update, but I hope you still enjoyed it. I'm kind of worried about the next year, but we'll see. If we sort of have a stagnation, I'll be fine. I wouldn't be mad, because the oil shocks, even in our world, changed the economy quite dramatically. And those that did not change, like Soviet Union, felt the impact more and more as the years went by. So anyway, thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one. Till then, you guys take care.